Hello, lovely people of the internet. I'm Adrienne Lauren, and you are tuned into The Thriving Artist, the show where we talk about how creatives create flourishing careers. Our guest for today is a Canadian music producer and executive with the AMAG Collective, noted for working with industry leaders such as Cash Money Records slash Rich Gang, Lupo One Productions, Universal Music Canada, and many more record labels and entertainment agencies. He's also one half of the Canadian DJ slash production duo, the KYNGS, KYNGS with a Y. So I want to introduce Ashton Adams into the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you for having
me. So, okay, let's start right in the beginning.
Just did that normal university thing. Went out there, partied hard, played football, just wasn't enjoying it. Music was always my passion.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the clubs a lot, just really turning up. And one, I would say, event that really made me realize that music is what I want to do. I was with my buddy DK. Shout out to DK. He's an up-and-coming rapper from Vancouver. He's actually a full Canadian wide tour right now. But me and him, we snuck in the back, and we got in the green room with Waka. It was really, really cool, just giving us a lot of feedback. Just two guys who were just stuck in the back there and just wanted to be by him, and he thought we were just part of just everybody around him. And he was cool, man. It was really, really dope. And I was like, man, I really want to do this. Really, really want to do this. And so, he chopped it us. We got pictures with him. It was really cool. So after that, I went back into my dorm room, and I was like, wow, I really, really want to do this full time. And I decided to go home. I'm like, I'm going to leave university, and I'm going to make it happen.
Wait, so did you just leave, actually quit university, or did you finish?
Finish my first year.
Uh-huh.
Finished my first year, and I came back. Everybody thought I was crazy. I remember just, some of my parents' friends were like, wow, you had a full ride for 4 years. It's so rare for somebody to get that. And I understood that, but, it's my passion. I always believed that, I always thought I was, really talented in this, and, I thought I could do it. I didn't know at the time, I didn't really know how. I was at the beginning, I just had a passion for it, but, I was learning from the book of life and just kept on going, and now we're here, right?
Mm-hmm. So how did you go from the kid who just really enjoys playing instruments and making music to then being able to work with some of the biggest record labels?
So when I came back from university, I was just going out to a lot of clubs. I was trying to do everything and anything I could do. I really wanted to DJ. I loved to DJ. Honestly, production was my passion at that time too. And I was making content. I was just making beats, beats, building up my vault. And I was just like, anybody, just go on them. Just please use my beats, use my beats, use my beats. And
so you were reaching out to people just how? Just social media, just everywhere you could?
Everywhere I could. I was reaching out to people, Facebook, and just anybody I could get around. I was always wanting to be around the biggest and the best. And if there was a concert, I wanted to be backstage. I wanted to be around them. I just wanted to just try and talk to them, give them a USB of my beats, whatever it may be. That was something that I made a priority, right? I just wanted to be out there. And locally around the Kitchener-Waterloo area, I looked up to all the DJs, the big DJs around the area, ATB All-Stars, DJ White Gold at District Nightclub. Those guys, I definitely looked up to, and they really, through my years inspired me to just want to be the best. And I was like, hey, I want to be at that level where they're DJing and they're killing it. So that's what I did. But then I realized that everybody is, just putting their stuff on Facebook or just putting their stuff out there and doing what I'm doing. So I have to be different. I have to do something different. So I really started looking for executives and people who were really doing something in the game, right? Behind the scenes, everybody's looking at the artists and trying to get them, but you got to go through, management or, friends of those artists or whatever it may be. And I'm like, hey, please check out my stuff. And then I actually got a call back from AM. So it was actually his business manager, Zamir. He hit me back and he's like, yeah, AM likes your beats. I'm like, oh, finally, somebody hit me up. So I actually was at the cottage with my family over and we had no Wi-Fi. There was one spot, literally you had to stand in one spot to get Wi-Fi. And he's like, I'm gonna call you, be ready at this time. We'll go over some stuff and just want to talk, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
This is it. This is our opportunity.
Yeah, it's like your big break.
My big break. And so I stood in that one spot for hours, probably like 4 or 5 hours, and I got no call. And I was like, oh my gosh, this wasted my whole day. And it was really disappointing, but he ended up hitting me up a couple of days later. And he's like, yeah, me and Am are back from Miami for a little bit, and we want to meet up. So to give you a little background on Am, he is the hottest ghost producer in the game right now. He was on a Pharrell staff production team. He's involved with many, many big records. After that, he had a lot of opportunity with a bunch of different labels. People really wanted him to come on board, and he was all over the place. And then he decided to go the route with Cash Money. He came back, and I met with him, had a meeting with him, and we were going over the music. And I was really, really nervous. I was like, wow, this is like, finally I get to really meet with an exec in this game.
Yeah.
And after that, I just went to a studio, started working just every day, just working on music and grinding away. And he really mentored me, not just with music but with business.
Right.
He taught me so much, how to really do it properly in this game, right?
Yeah.
And on the business side of things. And that to me was like getting $1 million record deal, right? That so much knowledge, and I was rich in knowledge from that man. And after that, he really brought me down to Miami, and I remember we were working with this one artist, up and coming artist, and he was like, "Yeah, man, we gotta go for a quick meeting." I'm like, "Oh, yo, cool, that's dope.
Okay.
Let's go."
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I'm on the Birdman's tour bus, just with myself, him, and Birdman. I'm like, whoa. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, this is stunner. Like, geez.
Is this my life?
I was just like shook. And I was 20. I just turned 21 at the time.
Wow.
I turned 21. So I had no idea. It was some parking. It was just a random.
The right place, right time. And
exactly.
the
Random
right person for what they needed.
Yeah, random parking lot. We go in and meeting with them, and they were just talking about business, and then I just couldn't believe it. I'm just looking at them like, wow, damn, like he got all those tattoos on his head, like for real. So I was just trying not to stare too hard, but it was an amazing experience. I'm like, wow, I can't believe like a year ago I was just sitting, just doing nothing, just trying to get food, from Cambridge, Ontario to now with a logo like Birdman in his presence, right? That to me was just so motivating. And after that, I was like, man, I can do this. I really can do this. Then over the years, just we kept going back month after month. Just doing staff production work and doing a lot of A&R work as well. Again, I was learning, right? That was my school.
Yeah.
I was learning. I was breaking all my no's, KNOWS's. I went in with a clean slate. I just soaked everything in, really observed everything. It was cool. We worked at the Hit Factory, so that's where Lil Wayne has a studio there. Timbaland has a studio there. Obviously, Cash Money, essentially headquarters, is where they do all the creative stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was dope seeing Lil Wayne come out of the studio, and I was just like, wow, like that's Lil Wayne. I ran into like Timbaland many, many times. It was just really dope. A lot of celebrities, a lot of great artists down there.
Yeah.
So it was really cool being around all that, and I'm just blessed that AM and also Red Eyes, those guys, really gave me a good opportunity just to learn and to really be around and grow as a producer and also as a businessman as well. So
what do you feel like you did right to end up being in that spot?
I think, I really work on my craft, right? I really focus on the music because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, it comes down to the music. It comes to content. It comes down to how is your music undeniable, right? And, back then my music wasn't undeniable. It wasn't that great. It was, I was still learning. I was still growing. And, but, really a guy like AM really, really saw the potential in me and saw the grind, saw the hustle.
Yeah.
Really saw down the road what I could become.
Right.
and took a chance, right? It's, you have more chance of winning the lottery than really blowing up as a artist or a major producer. But it can happen if you do it right and you really work in your craft and you really make the best music.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it's just relationships. Building those relationships, being at the right place, being around the right people, making sure you're staying up to date with what's hot in the industry right now. And again, maintaining relationships, that's super important. And at the same time, having your own creative vision, right? At the end of the day, you're there for your purpose. Like you have a talent, right?
Right.
You're unique. So really take that and mold it to what you want it to be. But at the same time, still doing, you need to build a fan base. You need to do all that stuff, right? So you have to make music for what people are going to like as well, because that's what they're going to pay to come see you live or want to follow you on social media, because they relate to what you're doing. So, but in terms of the production, right, just coming with hot beats, really knowing who you're working with. If you're going with artists that, does something this way, then hey, you're going to have to cater to that, right? But at the same time, bring your own creative flow to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Be smart with it and, really grinding, working hard, putting your all into it. At the same time, running your music as a business is no different. You're starting your own business is no different if you're going to open up a coffee shop or whatever it may be. It's a business, right?
Right.
There's going to be expenses. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to do, right? You're running a business and you're doing all that. So just the business side is super important, super, super important. You have to invest in yourself to make it happen. You're going to get the right equipment. You need to be able to travel if you can. If you really want to do this, you got to be all in, right? There's no shortcuts, especially
There's no half in, half out.
no,
No toes in the water.
Yep.
Just
So,
cannonball right in.
yep. You
Yeah.
have to think about this, right? Like, the people you're trying to go up against. Let's say you want to be a superstar, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going up against the top in the world. Like, think about that. You're going up against major labels. They got a lot of money. They got resources, right? So how are you going to stand out, right? Number one, your music has to be on like just ridiculously good, crazy good, right? So if you're an artist, that means, okay, I have to get with the right producer. I have to have hot beats,
Yeah.
right? Because if I don't have hot beats, that's my foundation, man. I can't do nothing with that, right?
Yeah.
Um, you have to have good quality music, right? Nothing can be the second you play a bad record for a A&R, unless you are just incredibly talented and it could be on the worst recording and they're like, I see the vision, I see it, this is dope, let's get them in a proper studio. But usually that doesn't happen, right? These A&Rs listen for 15 seconds. If they don't catch them, boom, it's on to the next.
Mm.
So much music coming, so you just everything has to be top notch, from your branding to your music. Everything needs to be very professional, and it's even harder in this day and age because it's so easy to get everything looking good, right? Everybody can get
Right.
a camera.
Technology has just improved so much that it's so feasible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody has a good website, all that stuff, right? So at the end of the day, like, it comes down to the music, how good the music is. And, I feel a lot of people are really, really focused on like the Instagram looking good or not. That's important, but at the end of the day, you need to have good music because that's
It's
what's
the product, right? That's the product.
it's the product, right? Packaging could look good, but the product's crap, then no one's gonna use it.
Or they return it and say we don't want it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Let's say there's creatives that are watching this that haven't had the privilege of meeting a mentor and somebody to really like walk them through something. What are
Yep.
some like really big takeaways that you've learned from your mentor that really made a huge impact in your journey?
Like I said, just being super dedicated to this, every day being organized. And that's another thing he told me. I was super unorganized before. And he was like, you know what, let's just organize this, be very organized. Schedule out your day, apart from music. Just, I'm going to get up this morning, I'm going to make my bed, I'm going to go for a walk and exercise. And then I'm going to sit down and produce, right? Make some beats. That really helped me. Just in terms of like just dressing better.
Oh yeah. Okay, I
Yeah,
guess so.
just
Because how you're perceived
how
really.
I'm perceived, just little things like that. Like I wasn't a bum, but just taking care of myself, right? My health, outside of music, and that really elevated everything else I was doing, right? Just be more organized and
Well, they
being
say your health is your wealth. So
exactly.
yeah.
Um, but then creatively just being around and, listening to his feedback, right? A lot of artists and producers are just so caught up in what they're doing, and they can't take any feedback, right? And even if it's negative, like, you got to take everything in, you got to mold it, right? If somebody says, hey, this is horrible, don't be like, oh wow, that person, it's bad, I'm not gonna listen to anything they're saying. Like,
Yeah.
no, you have to really take that criticism and, take what you want from it. Always want to be better, watch tutorials, be better every day, right? That's what you can do, and that's how you're going to get to the next level, is if you can be better every day.
So for a lot of artists, and not only in like the music space, they're often faced with this notion that you really can't have a career in the creative space, which is crazy, because if you really look at like the world and really look at it, it's like there's so many people that are winning in the creative space.
A lot.
But there are a lot of aspiring creatives that are surrounded by people, maybe really important people like their parents or super close friends, that just don't see it as something that they could do. And I guess even for you, like you shared in your story that you were in that space too, where they thought you were crazy, but you just...
Well, I don't want to say they didn't think I was crazy. It was more of like, okay, all right, son, what are you doing? Like, what's your plan? My parents supported me 100%. Like, no matter what I wanted to do, they always supported me. Even when I had no money financially, they're like, hey, we'll help you out here. Traveling, here and there at the beginning, they helped me out a lot. So I give a lot of credit to my parents, getting me to where I am right now. But in the back of their mind, you're always going to get, hey, you should get a job. This, or like, how are you going to be secure? Like, what are you doing? Right?
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it's hard for your parents to understand that, especially, when, security, they want their child to be secure. They want their child to be good. Right. So
yeah,
I think that's,
so how do you overcome those kind of mental blocks, if that's really something that's affecting you?
You do need to live. Right. So don't think that you can just quit everything and, expect to survive and blow up in a month. Right. So, do get a job, keep working, make sure you budget, but, have a plan. You need to be organized. You need to have a plan, know what you want to do. Say, I want to get 2 years, whatever it may be. I want to work toward this, set goals, try to get something. But at the end of the day, you just need to be strong in yourself, right? You're the only one that's going to be able to move yourself forward. You're the only one going to be able to motivate yourself, because, a lot of people don't get it, right? This industry is very small, and people who are doing it as well, it's not a lot of people that are really doing this, like making a full-time living off of it, right? Be realistic with yourself, right? Thinking you're going to be Drake in a year, that most likely won't happen, right? But you can make a living off of this, right? You can make a living off of music. So I would say focus on that. Try to make $30,000 a year if you can off of music, whether that's, just building up a little bit of a fan base. Try to get 500 people in each city to let's come out to your shows if you can, right? It doesn't have to be, just make a living off of it, right? Because you can build up, if you get 2,000 people liking your Facebook page, and, let's say you sell your song for $1 and you have 2,000 people that's going to support you, you can do the math, right? And that's not bad, but then you just slowly build it up, and, those guys, Drake, those guys doing it at the same level, just on a bigger level, right? They're selling millions, right? So just be realistic with yourself, and stay motivated, have balance. Don't be doing music all day, every day. Do some music, go for a walk, hang with friends, family, make that a priority as well, because just like too much of anything can get too bad.
Yeah, so, everything in moderation, right?
Everything in moderation, but still grind at what you're doing, but be balanced.
Okay. So you've been in the game for a while now. And if you could like rebuild your career, like if you could go back, but knowing everything that you know now, what would you have done differently? Or would you do anything differently?
No, I wouldn't at all. Obviously everything didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen, but that's life. Nothing is ever the way you plan for it. You have to keep adapting to life, and, just keep moving forward. Change anything? No, I wouldn't. I would do it all over again the same way, just because I learned so much. Like I said, those years were like my schooling. I feel like I graduated. Obviously, I'm never going to stop learning, but I was just was just soaking everything in. It was a great experience. Like my early 20s, like I get to be around Cash Money Records, Lil Wayne,
Like a
live,
dream come true.
like being around like guys like AM and like, our team, and just experiencing that over the years, being in Miami every single month. Like I was like a second home there, right? And like I couldn't have asked for a better 20s, early 20s, right? So
Okay, we are getting to near the end here. So to wrap it all up, what one piece of advice have you received in your journey that just really, really stuck?
I would say, in the music industry, you're going to be in it for certain things, whether if it's for money, for the fame, you just want to get your work out there, whatever it may be. Personally for me, the one thing that I really took away from, being, working with the AMAG Collective and AM is, we're here to change the world, right? We have a platform inspiring people, right, to be better. We want to change the world. We want to make sure that, the way we act, the way we are is always positive. And, if you're in this music industry for anything else, then like, that's your own decision, but, use this platform to do better, to make the world better. That's the one thing I could say I could take away from all of this, is just trying to positively impact the world. That's the one thing I said I took away from all this, and learning, working with Cash Money and AM and Red Eyes and those guys, is always giving back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just being there for the community and just impacting the world with our music.
That's so beautiful. I feel like we are ending this in such a beautiful note. Just knowing your why and living out your truth and living out your purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Ashton. I really enjoyed this. I learned a lot. I appreciate your time. And I have no doubt in my bones that you won't be able to do the amazing and beautiful, impactful things that you want to do in this world.
Thank you.
Wishing you all the best in your journey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you for having
me. And thank you to all the viewers for tuning in. This has been The Thriving Artist. And we'll see you at the next interview. Thanks so much. Bye.